I'm about to give you some tips that's gonna help boost your mixing game when it comes to mixing that bass and getting that bass and 808 in check. Let's go. What's up, people? This is Clint with Airbit.com, and today I want to talk about some tips that can help you when you're mixing your bass or your 808s. I know that's one of the biggest challenges producers face when mixing their music is getting that bass tamed and in check to where you can still feel it and hear it, but it's not overpowering everything in your mix and giving you less headroom when it comes to mastering and getting the highest volume from your music as possible. So I'm going to show you a few tricks that I personally use when I'm mixing bass or 808s and how I balance that and the kick, as well as, mixing it to where you can still feel it. You feel the presence of the bass in the track, but it's not super duper overpowering to where you can't hear anything else. So let's dig into it.
Okay, so the first thing I like to do is see where my bass is sitting as far as EQ is concerned. So I'm going to pull up an EQ specifically for the 808 in this track because I'm using the 808 as my bass, and then I have a kick. Those are the two instruments that I know for sure I want to be in the low end frequency. So I'm gonna pull up an EQ. I love to use an EQ that has graphics to it so I can see exactly where the frequencies are living. So I'm gonna solo this 808. As you can see, it's really heavy on this low end over here. And then I'm gonna solo the kick too and pull up another EQ because I wanna see where the kick is. Because again, this is another instrument that's on the low end. Okay, so very similar. The kick is a little more punchy. As you can see that around between 60 and 70 hertz, there's a little more there versus the 808, where a lot of it's kind of being around 45 to 55. I'm going to show you later on in this tutorial how to balance these so they're not competing for the same space. But first, what I want to do is I want to take every instrument that's not a kick, that's not an 808, and I want to roll off the frequencies that those 808s and kicks are living the most. So here I'll pull up on the guitar. And as you can see, before I roll off, right, there's some low end, like it's low, but there's still some low end in these lower frequencies. But the thing is, if you have a lot of tracks that have a little bit of low end, it starts to add up and then your mix starts to get muddy. That's not what you want. So I'm gonna roll off to about 100 or so hertz, and I'm gonna do that for every track. I'm gonna just copy and paste this. Boom, boom. This is gonna instantly clean up your mix so you don't have excessive low end and things that don't need to reside in the low end. Roll off the low end on all other sounds to make room for the bass. Now I want to balance the bass or the 808 and the kick because these are the two instruments that are kind of living in the same space, but we need them to work together, and I'm going to use sidechain compression to be able to do that. You're going to need a compressor that has the ability to do sidechain. So this one has that. This is just a built-in stock compressor in Logic. There's other compressors out there that have the ability to do that. Up on the right-hand corner where it says sidechain, I'm gonna click that, and then I'm just gonna search for my kick. There's the kick. Boom. So let's play it and let's solo and see if we can hear that sidechain compression happening when the kick hits. Yep. Every time the kick comes in, the 808 compresses. It's leaving room because the 808 isn't hitting the exact same way when the kick is coming in. So every time that kick is coming in, 808 is like, yo, let me move out the way. Let me turn down a little bit. And that is going to clean up your mixes when you have that 808 that bass and that kick. Now I want to show you a couple of plugins that I use to give your bass a little more character or even beef it up a little bit more. So once you get your bass under control and everything is balanced, now you can kind of add color. Distortion is great. I like to use a little bit of it on the 808. Saucy distortion, an appropriate name. Here there's a bass 808 setting. I'm gonna use that. So right now I have it at 0, but I'm just gonna play the track so I can see what it sounds like. Then I'm gonna slowly introduce it to the 808. that gives it a little more character. Another plugin that I like to use is Airbit from Waves. Let's see what this sounds like. So if you turn the frequency up, you kind of get more of the higher end of the 808, or you can go down. And then here you can just adjust the intensity. If you want, say, okay, so I added this low air to really have the bottom of the 808, but what you can do, you can copy this track, this 808 track, right? Let's duplicate it. So I can have one track be the super low part, and then have this other track be the higher end of the 808. But what I'll do on this higher 808, I'll roll off the low end. So again, so it's not competing. And then that way I can turn it up a little bit more and then get those, you know, those mid and higher frequencies of the 808. Those are the ones that are going to punch through a cell phone if somebody's listening through, and you wonder how, you know, how am I able to hear these 808s hitting on a cell phone? This is how, you know, you kind of increase those, increase the volume in those frequency ranges where a phone would be able to play it, and you would be able to, you know, to actually hear it. Let's boost this a little bit. So I boosted it around 400 hertz to really bring out those higher end 808s. You can use a plugin like Saturator X from IK Multimedia. So let's see, I'm gonna play it without it, and then I'm gonna play it just on a regular, like it's not even on a preset yet. Like this joint, it saturates like no other. Listen, this is without the saturation. This is with it. So you can hear it. That's just something else you can do to kind of add some more color to the 808 and more character. So hopefully you found it helpful.
We post videos here every week to help you on your music production journey. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single video from us. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to join the Airbit Discord community. The link to that will be below. That's all I have for you today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.